I'm wondering if we could just clarify the term game, because I remember the first time I heard it, I didn't know what it meant.
To be really literal, I mean, a game has rules, and like rules are always something we're talking about, you know, in an individual song, and then in a show too. What are the rules of the world? What are the rules of the song? And like honoring the rules of the song. And as long as you do, you can like kind of do anything you want, but you do have to like set the rules of the game and then follow those rules, and then you're sort of okay.
I'm taking UCB classes right now in improv. It's really, really fun, but we talk about it in sort of a different way, and we talk about game, that's what we call it, but we also talk about like heightening it, and like if the game, if you discover in a scene that some guy is really, really cheap, the goal is to put him in as many places that exploit the cheapness. Like maybe he's like paying for a funeral for his wife, and he's like, sorry, we'll go with the cardboard. You have to think about as many. You take the scene to as many different places that exploit that funny thing. You know.
Well, I think about a lot of those when I think that's kind of the Cole Porter and the Noel Coward things of like. And like, why do the wrong people travel when the right people stay at home, or the lazy scowl in town? It's a series. It's the getting into it. That hook is kind of the same thing, but it's the thing. So you know what the punchline is going to be, but that one's about kind of the journey. It's a little bit different thing, but I think about that. I know we're going to get to the punchline of why do the wrong people travel when the right people stay at home.
How has your performance background really influenced the writing of comedy?
I think background as a performer makes it easier all around as a writer, only because like you really just you just go there, you just like, I mean, I'm sure that you guys all do this too, but I just like every character that I'm writing for, it's like I'm playing that role. It's like I am that person.
In the creation of it, embody it too, and I'm also a fan of you can move around a little bit. I think what's interesting in this, in the writer thing, sometimes we get glued to the chair a little bit, and it's good. And what I find so interesting, choreographers are moving, and granted that's the vocabulary they move in, but every other director's up on the feet, actors are on their feet. Well, eventually they're going to be on their feet with our words. So I'm like, get up and move and try it, and we'll read it back and forth to each other, and if it makes us laugh, if it makes you get choked up or cry in the moment, it's a good thing. So I think part of the performance background helps in that. It's not a prerequisite, but it just helps in knowing that we're not writing a novel. We're writing something that is meant to be performed, and we're writing something that is meant to have timing and a beat, a beat in there. So if you're on your feet and you learn that it's funny, that it's words crammed into a section that is a little clunky, then you know that by just kind of being up on your feet.
What happens when the comedy fails? Because I think we've all experienced that. Like what do you do? And like how do you approach it? How do you analyze it?
We wrote a show called Now Hear This, and there was one song called Archer, and I came out and looked at a turtle display and then went on this whole like thought bubble kind of thing, and it was not working at all. And I called that we kind of went back downstream. It's like the factory was upstream polluting it, and we made one adjustment upstream in terms of just clarity, because Michael Bress, who's our director at the time, was like, I think nobody knows what the hell's going on actually. It's like, people I think that's supposed to be funny, it seems cute or whatever, but like I just don't know what's happening. And we added one like spoken section to set it up, even in the beginning, like super clear of like, I'll be at the turtle exhibit and I have a crush on this guy who's next to the turtle exhibit. And then that night of that too, it was night and day.
Well, they also need clarity and also permission to laugh. Like, oh yes,
Well, like the famous story of a funny thing happened on the way to the forum being out of town, and nobody's laughing because nobody knows what to make of it, so they add the opening song called Comedy Tonight, and everybody understands that, oh, we're supposed to be laughing.